The Atlantic hurricane season kicked off on June 1st, and if NOAA's predictions are anything to go by, we're in for a bumpy ride. Forget average, forget calm, all signs point to an above-normal season of swirling winds and torrential rain. NOAA's forecast calls for a 30% chance of an above-normal season, a 40% chance of a near-normal season, and a 30% chance of a below-normal season. While these numbers might seem like a coin toss, the potential for a busy hurricane season is very real. The Atlantic basin is already showing signs of a brewing tempest. Warm waters, the lifeblood of hurricanes, are reaching record highs in certain areas. This excess heat acts as fuel, powering up storms and increasing their potential intensity. It's a recipe for disaster, and one we've seen unfold with devastating consequences in recent years. Remember the record-breaking 2020 season? We're treading in similar waters this year. NOAA's prediction isn't based on guesswork. It's backed by solid science and a deep understanding of the complex interplay of factors that influence hurricane development. One of the most significant factors this year is the unusually high sea surface temperatures in the main hurricane development region of the Atlantic. Warmer waters provide more energy for storms to draw upon, leading to more intense and longer-lasting hurricanes. Another crucial factor is the anticipated presence of El Niño, a climate pattern characterized by warmer-than-average waters in the Pacific Ocean. El Niño events typically suppress hurricane activity in the Atlantic by influencing wind patterns and increasing wind shear. However, this year, a potential transition to El Niño's counterpart, La Niña, is on the cards. La Niña has the opposite effect, creating conditions conducive to hurricane formation and intensification in the Atlantic basin. Adding fuel to the fire is the potential for reduced vertical wind shear across the Atlantic basin. Wind shear, the change in wind speed and direction with height, can disrupt the formation of hurricanes. When wind shear is weak, it allows hurricanes to develop their characteristic towering structure and gain strength. The current forecast suggests weaker wind shear than usual, further increasing the likelihood of a more active hurricane season. These factors, combined with other atmospheric variables, paint a picture of a hurricane season primed for activity. While it's impossible to predict the exact number or intensity of hurricanes we'll see, the scientific evidence points to a higher-than-average likelihood of a busy and potentially destructive season. To grasp the potential severity of this hurricane season, we need to look back at the past. History, as they say, often repeats itself. The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, still fresh in the minds of many, was a stark reminder of nature's fury. It was a record-breaking season, with 30 named storms, 13 hurricanes, and 6 major hurricanes. Coastal communities from Texas to Florida faced the brunt of these storms, with billions of dollars in damage and countless lives disrupted. The 2005 season, infamous for Hurricane Katrina's devastating impact on New Orleans, is another grim reminder of what a hyperactive hurricane season can bring. It was the most active and the most destructive Atlantic hurricane season on record, with 28 named storms, 15 hurricanes, and 7 major hurricanes. The economic toll of that season was staggering, exceeding $180 billion in damages. While these past events serve as a stark warning, it's important to remember that every hurricane season is unique. The exact conditions that fueled those historic seasons are not identical to what we're seeing this year. However, the similarities are undeniable, and the potential for a high-impact season is undeniable. The lessons learned from past hurricanes are invaluable. They underscore the importance of preparedness, early warning systems, and community resilience. By studying the past and understanding the factors that contribute to hurricane development, we can better prepare for the future and mitigate the potential impacts of these powerful storms. Section 4, Coastline Concerns. Who's in the crosshairs? While the entire Atlantic and Gulf Coast is potentially vulnerable during hurricane season, some regions face a higher risk than others. The NOAA forecast indicates an elevated probability of landfalls along the U.S. East Coast, the Gulf Coast from Texas to Florida, and the Caribbean. These areas have historically been in the crosshairs of hurricanes, and this year appears to be no different. Coastal communities, particularly those in low-lying areas or near river deltas, are at increased risk from storm surge, one of the deadliest hazards associated with hurricanes. Storm surge is the abnormal rise in sea level caused by a hurricane's powerful winds pushing water towards the shore. This can result in catastrophic flooding, as seen during Hurricane Katrina, where storm surge inundated entire neighborhoods. population density also plays a role in determining the potential impact of a hurricane. Densely populated coastal cities, such as Miami, New Orleans, and Houston, are particularly vulnerable due to the sheer number of people and critical infrastructure located in harm's way. A major hurricane making landfall in one of these areas could have far-reaching consequences, including widespread power outages, disruptions to transportation and communication networks, and significant economic losses. It's important to remember that hurricanes are not just coastal events. Heavy rainfall and inland flooding can extend hundreds of miles inland, impacting communities far from the coast. The remnants of Hurricane Ida in 2021, for example, caused devastating flooding in the northeast U.S., highlighting the far-reaching impacts these storms can have. Section 5. Battling the Tempest. Preparedness is key. As we brace for the potential onslaught of this hurricane season, the message is clear. Preparedness is not optional, it's essential. Now is the time to review your hurricane plan, stock up on emergency supplies, and stay informed about weather forecasts and potential threats. Don't wait for a hurricane warning to spring into action. By then, it might be too late. Start by creating or updating your family emergency plan. This plan should include evacuation routes, communication strategies, and a designated meeting place in case family members get separated. Make sure everyone in your household knows the plan and their role in an emergency. Next, assemble a hurricane preparedness kit. This kit should contain enough food, water, medication, and other essential supplies to last each person in your household for at least 3 days. Other items to include are a first aid kit, flashlight, batteries, a battery-powered radio, cash, and copies of important documents. Store your kit in a waterproof container in an easily accessible location. Staying informed is crucial during hurricane season. Monitor weather reports from reliable sources such as the National Hurricane Center and your local news outlets. Pay attention to hurricane watches and warnings, and be prepared to act quickly if an evacuation order is issued for your area. Remember, it's always better to be over-prepared than under-prepared when it comes to hurricanes.